to be true or took for granted. As I grew, that sense of wonderment was replaced by some level of wisdom which Allah was gracious enough to bestow upon me. Such wisdom, that quintessential combination of experience and knowledge, removed that sense of awe and eradicated in almost all cases the astonishment of many of life's encounters. That is, with one exception. That exception is the blessed and august personality of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih. My dear brothers, not a week goes by when on reflection I am not amazed and astounded by the holy personage of our beloved Khalifa, the breathtaking piety of his conduct, the pristine purity of his diction, the profound wisdom of his sermon, the inspirational abundance of his love. To the members of the Jamaat, he is at all times a deeply loving father to whom we can look up for guidance, advice and encouragement. And to the intelligentsia and reasonable people of goodwill, he is a wise friend and counselor. And to the afflicted, he is, without discrimination, a ready source of comfort, consolation and relief. I want to share with you today my inspiration in the hope that you too can join me as a witness to the extraordinary luminosity that Khilafat brings, to share with me that magnetic resonance which a bond with Allah's Khalifa offers to all those who choose to embrace it. To describe Khilafat merely as an institution of the highest worldly order is an underestimation which does not express its true significance. Established as a method of communicating with his creation, Khilafat is a sacred institution, the significance of which has been eloquently explained by the Holy Quran. It is a brilliant beacon of guidance and unity. It is a glorious fountain of blessings and mercies. It is through the blessings of Khilafat that Islam has made progress in the past, as it continues to do today, and inshallah will continue to do for years and centuries to come. Prophethood is a seed, after which the instrumentality of Khilafat spreads its munificence throughout the world. After the Holy Prophet ﷺ, through the devoted works of the rightly guided Khulafa, Islam spread throughout the then known world. Today, under the guidance of the Ahmadiyya Khulafa, who represent the promised Messiah of the latter days, the Ahmadiyya movement in Islam is spreading exponentially all around the world. The passage of more than 100 years of Ahmadiyya Khilafat, replete with countless blessings and phenomenal achievements, has demonstrated and contextualized the significance of Khilafat in consolidating mankind under the flag of love and devotion to one God. It should also demonstrate to us the importance of obedience. It is by obeying the Khalifa of the time that Muslims will be serving the cause of Islam, because it is under Khilafat that Islam was promised triumph. There has been no magic to the victories of Ahmadiyya, no dark power or feat of coincidence. It has been quite simply obedience to Khilafat which has manifested so many miracles on this blessed community. Allah has promised to those among you who believe and do good works that He will surely make them successes in the earth, as He made successes among those who were before them. Chapter 24, verse 56, is a verse many of us are familiar with. What we must also note is that in the very next verse, the Holy Quran introduces the subject of obedience when it states, "And observe prayer and pay the zakat and obey the messenger that you may be shown mercy." Chapter 24, verse 57. From these verses, it can be seen that whilst the Holy Quran promises a great reward to those who believe and do good works, such reward is not without conditionality. It is no surprise that those rewards cannot be available to you through those who have no appreciation of Khilafat or who are not obedient to it. On an almost daily basis, we see before us the consequences of the perilous rejection of the promised Messiah and his Khulafa by Muslim nations across the world. Whilst Khilafat in Ahmadiyya has resulted in success reflecting the benefits of divine favour, the condition of Muslims who have denied this Khilafat has suffered nothing but continued fragmentation and frustration. It should be patently obvious by now that Khilafat is not only a very blessed institution, but also a very important institution in Islam, and unquestionably calls for the highest degree of obedience. Inasmuch as the Khalifa is elected in accordance with the divine will, disobedience to him is in fact tantamount to the disobedience to Allah, and by the same token, obedience to Allah Almighty and obedience to the office of Khilafat are simply the obverse and reverse of the same coin. Mere proclamations of obedience to Khilafat are insufficient for Allah. For Allah says in the Holy Quran, "Swear not, what is required is actual obedience in what is right. Surely Allah is well aware of what you do." Chapter 24, verse 54. To a large extent, it is the implementation of those pledges of obedience that forms one of the fundamental purposes of these ijtema. We must use these opportunities to grasp those commitments of obedience, moving from the cusp of obeying Allah's commands to zealous all those who seek a better way of life must take concerted and committed action to pursue a virtuous change in our lives.
خدام احمدیت خدام احمدیت خدام احمدیت خدام احمدیت خدام احمدیت خدام احمدیت